Martin's Test Shaves, 29th of August. I'm going to do my little promised experiment with a convexed honing block, which I made yesterday. You might have seen a, 5-minute video that I did about how to make one. However, let me show you what I'm about to get up to. First of all, here's the razor in question. This is the little French one I showed you the other day. This is the Leon Pelleray of Paris. Now it's a quarter hollow. In fact, it's almost a wedge. It is a quarter hollow. It was okay. It was honed on the purple Welsh slate, the purple slate from Wales, and that one it shaved okay. Not quite as well as a hollow grind. The hollow grind is a little more kind and tends to follow the contours of the face. But this one, maybe, the theory being, if you give it a vaguely, slightly concave bevel, or at least the final edge being slightly concave, it gives a slight amount more flex and a slight amount more cutting ability. Going back to the 1840s, 1850s, when this was muted in various digests, they did say scientifically that it is the better way of doing it. Hence why I've got this little strop, which of course is the dandy scientific strop. Science demonstrates the convex curve is the correct principle. That's a convex shape of the actual curve of the strop. The blade you're imparting a concave bevel to. Anyway, you all know that, so I'll shut up. Right, there's the razor. I've already stropped it. Let me show you just briefly how it's done. This is a fairly wide block. This is a fairly coarse medium that I'm using. This, in fact, is the TI, the Thiers Isard, the razors. This is the white TI paste. Relatively speaking, a coarse paste. Well, relative. So that went on. There you can see it. Hopefully you can see it. I got all the angles wrong as usual. This was worked quite heavily, about, I don't know, probably 70 laps. Then we went on after cleaning it, because the trouble with using applied pastes is they are rather gummy, and as everybody knows that's used one, you end up with a gummy blade. However, then put the block underneath the very nice quality green canvas strop. Now this, of course, is the chrome oxide, the famous Crocs, and this works very, very well. I gave a few laps on that, as you can see, and then I turned it over onto the canvas side, gave it a few laps on canvas. Then to finally finish off, I used the Kaneyama, the beautiful Kaneyama leather, the best you can get. And that one, again, I think I need a slightly longer block. If you actually look at the block in comparison, it's a little bit on the short side in my opinion. And of course, again, very gentle stropping. And by doing this, this was the final polish, obviously. I hanging hair tested it, and it was very, very good. Whether it's done sufficient work to actually impart a slight concavity to the edge, I doubt, because this was a fairly awkward blade to start with. It had a quite severe curve, a slight bend in it, which I took out. Now, hopefully, it's got a very, very, very slight concaved final bevel. So that's it, basically, chaps. There you have the wooden block. There you have the wooden head. There you have the razor all ready to shave with. As a comparison, I'm also going to shave with the little Tory, which again is a rescue job. This one is a deep hollow, as all Tories I believe were. This one shaved quite adequately the other day, so this will be my tester against the new French edge. Anyway, I'm going to shut up. I do love this box that it came in, by the way. I'm sorry, I want to keep showing it. I just think American boxes. Look at that, isn't that superior? Yeah. And although this has had a hard life, 2 or 3 nicks in the edge, all have been taken out by bread knifing on the old diamond plate, then 45, 30 degrees, then onto 1K, 3K, 5K, 8K. Now that's pretty much what the Froggy Shaves had to say on today's video. Marvellous video, wonderful chap. Anyway, that will be my reserve tester. Let's have a quick lather up and we'll be off. I'm going to go and use one of my favourites. I'm going to use the Pine by, of course, Eric, the Cajun Blade. Oh, first thing in the morning, I tell you what guys, if you haven't smelt this, first thing in the morning, that is the most refreshing smell I think I know. It's very, very impressive. So a very quick lather up and I'll be off. Tepid water. I shall do a la Jacques pre-shave, which everybody now uses. Just a starter, just to get you started off, so to speak. Anything to soften. This is what, 2 days of bristle and already it's pretty bloody sticky and heavy. I mean, I don't know about the modern look, but everybody, including little wussy TV announcers, they've all got these sort of stubbly beards. Not a full beard, just sort of stubble everywhere. Anyway, whatever. One yucky 30mm. I'm not going to talk about things I don't understand. I mean, I'm sure there are wonderful natural brushes out there. I can't be asked. Life's too short. I can get a wonderful lather on a synthetic. Oh my God, that is a really nice smell. Old Eric's very clever, isn't he? I mean, not only is it an extremely smooth, beautiful, cushioned lather, which I love, but of course its slickness is good. The other day, my final pass was without any lather at all. It's that good. Anyway, look at that, already perfectly adequate lather. Lather even. It's not particularly water hungry. I always add a tiny bit of water just to do it. Anyway, there you go. That's me lathered up very briefly. If you ever get a chance, guys, do try and get, I mean, he's not commercial, remember. Eric, the Cajun Blade, is not a commercial entity as yet. He should be, but there is the pot that you get. Anyway, let's try this little razor. Do remember, golden rule, if you've had any lather on your fingers at all, do try and use a towel to dry your fingers with. These are all common sense things, but I'm not noted for my common sense. Right, this little quarter hollow, this French left-in-ent, is now going to be tried after a brief attempt to put a concave refreshed edge. It's silent, as you'd expect. It's a quarter hollow. Oh yeah, it's definitely better. Not massive, oh my God, earth shattering, but that is better. As I thought, this is a very good way, using this method, a very good way of refreshing an edge. I wouldn't say it's the perfect way to actually put on a new edge. Yeah, that's a wonderful, wonderful edge. You do have to study your stubble direction and growth a little bit more when you're using such a very firm edge. There's no give in this at all. Quarter hollow, absolutely rigid, as we all know. But I think a worthy experiment was achieved. Yeah, that's pretty good. I think I would prefer probably a slightly different shaped blade. This one is a very nice blade. It's just probably the fact this is only the second time I've ever picked this up, so it's a bit harsh, but I would say it's okay. Modestly okay. Slight improvement on the dead flat bevel on the normal process that I rather use. So let's put that one down just for a second as a comparison. Let's go back to this little Torrey. Now this Torrey is completely unchanged from when I used it 2 days ago, and it wasn't the best of the razors because it had a lot of work done to it. But let's see how it compares. Actually, I'd say there's very little in it. Well, that's amazing. Now, I thought the little Torrey that I'm using will be miles better because I'm used to deep hollow grinds more than I am wedges. I love wedges too, but that's good, especially as it's only just recovered from my treatments. Let's now go back to the little frog job, the Leon Pelleray of Paris, just as a comparison. There's a stiffness with quarter hollow. I prefer a quarter hollow with a bigger blade, which I have. There's a stiffness, isn't there? You can see it ain't wanting to go around the bends in quite the same manner, but it's a modest improvement. I wouldn't say it was a great improvement. I'd say it's a modest improvement. Yeah, that's better. I like to hear the stubble being cut. Yeah, that is cutting very nicely for a very old restored razor. I couldn't tell you the date on it. I would say 1920s probably. Who knows? Anyway, I'm going to do a second pass against the grain. So far, I wouldn't say I've wasted my time. As far as refreshing an edge goes, certainly I would say the convex wooden block shape to give a mildly concave final edge isn't a bad way to go. It's probably not ideal, but then we don't live in an ideal world. Okay, first of all, against the grain with the little Torrey. More than adequate. Across the grain. Short strokes are probably wiser. And these are very small razors. You do need a little bit more care with a small razor. You don't need as much proficiency and skill with a big razor. That's why I like big razors. If you're starting off in the wonderful field of straight razor shaving, I wouldn't suggest a 5/8. I'd go for a 6/8. Never be afraid of the big blades. I've got a 13/8 which weighs half a ton, but is a very kind blade. And this, because it's been worked on by me, restored edge. It's probably lost 1/16 of an inch, or maybe up as much as 1.5, maybe 2 millimeter. Anyway, I don't talk continental. So I'm going to do against the grain on the other side with this little froggy. Let's see how this feels. I must say, against the grain is pretty good. Yeah, no complaints at all. How strange that with the grain, it's just a little bit draggy. But there again, only the second time I've used it. Let's go across the grain. It's a glorious morning today in Little Hampton, in West Sussex. It's awfully nice in West Sussex, you know. Yeah, isn't that strange? It only got better, this little razor. Just in the few moments that I've been using it, it's actually improved. We're going around awkward little bends and corners. The flexibility of a deep hollow grind is superior. Depends what you get used to at the end of the day. For edge retention, they're all about the same. Yeah. Adequate without being stunning. So, as it hadn't performed, this little quarter hollow, as it hadn't performed quite as well as a little 5/8 full hollow the other day, it is now virtually on the same level. So I think my methodology isn't entirely insane. It's only a bit bonkers. So there you go, chaps, that's it. I'm not going to waste any more of your time. Thank you so much for subscribing. All I know is steel. I don't know very much else. I do love Eric soaps. A big call out to everyone who is responsible for furthering our field. And my deepest sympathy for those who don't use straight razors. Boy, are you missing out. The only thing is, you do need to keep practicing. Once the muscle memory's there, you've got it. And it gives you the best shave in the world. That is almost, not quite, but it's almost baby bum smooth. One more pass and it will be. One more pass. I'm sorry, I can't resist it. One more pass with Monsieur Leon Pelleray of Paris. And we'll see. Yeah, it's still cutting stubble. But it has improved it. Yeah. A mildly improved edge on this little quarter hollow from France. Age? God knows. All I do know is when I finish with it, eventually it'll go to some other straight shaver. Or better yet, it'll go to somebody who's been converted to the true faith from those hideous disposable blades. Yeah, that's a nice shave actually. So, okay, in conclusion, it's not rocket science and it's not a massive difference. I would say I'm pleased I made a convex block. I think for refreshing an edge or very slightly improving an edge. Yeah, no harm in that at all. What am I doing? I'm getting lather all over my boko. Yeah, chaps, that's it. Am I going to bother putting on a post-shave balm? No. Am I going to bother putting on some wonderful scents? No, not really. No, I'm going to go out soon. So this is just a quick test. There's the razor in question. But I have to say, this modest, very old J.R. Tolley from New York City, or is it, I think it's actually Worcester, Massachusetts. Yeah, Worcester, Massachusetts. Can't really read it, it's very faint now. Well restored, well, modestly well restored. And total cost of a razor like this, if you're an American, God bless you, I should think about $18, $20. If you're in Britain, probably costs you about 60 because of our charges on post. However, am I pleased I got it? Yes, very. Okay, chaps, that's it. Martin's Test Shaves over and out. Have a wonderful day. I'll see you all very shortly. Thank you for subscribing.